What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I am Connor Speed 6. Today we are back in Forza Horizon 5 for the spring season, and we have an all-new car that is actually kind of anticipated by a few people, not necessarily me. We have the Audi TTRS available in Car Pass. So what we're going to do today is head in and check out my build and really kind of give some hot takes on this car. I'm going to be really upfront and honest with you. I'm kind of disappointed in it, honestly, especially since it was like the most OP car ever in Forza Horizon 4. So you see right here, it's the 2018 Audi TTRS. Let's go ahead and jump in mine to see just what type of upgrading and things I've done to it so far. So I have my Audi TTRS in A class, as you can see on the screen. I have done pretty much as I can to keep this car as grippy as possible and to give it as much power in A class. I kept the stock engine and of course the stock drivetrain, which is all-wheel drive. I put in the Audi Sport front bumper. I put in the Forza arrow in the rear just because that dropped PI and it actually helped the handling a little bit. So that allowed me to put a little bit more power into the car elsewhere. Audi Sport rear bumper, the Audi Sport side skirts or Audi street side skirts. Then I left the stock hood because the street hood actually lowered weight and made our PI go up just a little bit. Now for the tires, this was actually a really big dilemma for me. I first started out with this car built for road racing and I had race tires. Then I was like, you know what, this is not good, it's too slow, but it was so grippy. So I turned it into a rally car, tested it, it was not good. So now I have actually landed on running this car with rally tires because, again, it added grip, but it didn't cause my PI to go through the roof, of course. As you can see, there's only a 3 PI difference between the stock tire compound and the rally tire compound. However, from the stock to the race is a 21 PI upgrade. So again, I went with rally tires. It still has pretty good lateral grip, but it still suffers. It's not the best. We'll go through that here soon. Stock front tire width, upgraded rear tire width. I put on some heavier work Meister CR01s because, again, that added weight, dropped PI, and I was able to put that, PI somewhere else in power. Maxed out the front and rear wheel spacers. Stock clutch installed, plus I did install the race transmission into the car. I did have the race 6-speed transmission in the car, but that actually bumped a PI, so I lowered it down to the race transmission, and it's just fine. It really didn't make too big of a difference. Race diff, of course, installed as well, and no driveline weight reduction or anything like that. As for the brakes, I did upgrade to race brakes, race suspension, upgraded the front and rear anti-roll bars, and then that is really it in the platform and handling field because everything else, again, bumped PI and was taking me into S1 class, so I didn't want to do that. Now here's where I finagled as much as I possibly could to get as much power into this car as possible. As you can see, the car has 544 brake horsepower with 481 foot-pounds of torque. That's pretty decent for how little this car is and how light it is. If you notice, it's only 3,329, but that's still pretty heavy for what this car is. This is a little car. It's a go-kart style car, so it's surprisingly heavy. So as you can see, we left the stock intake, the fuel system is stock, the ignition is stock. From here, we left the stock exhaust, stock cams and valves. The race valves were installed. The race engine block I installed because that drops a lot of weight and gives you a lot of power. Left the stock pistons, upgraded the race turbo. That added a lot of horsepower, 83 horsepower, and just that. Then from there, the sport intercooler and stock oil and the stock flywheel. I had so many different variations and combinations of upgrades here for more horsepower, and this is what I finally settled on with all of the other modifications that I have on the car. This seemed to be the best route to go to get as much horsepower as I could into this car. Now, I am going to have this tune shared, so if you would like to try it or download it, feel free to. My gamer tag is ConnorSpeed6. I'm going to be honest, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of this car. It really isn't impressing me at all. I thought it was going to be a lot more grippy than this. Of course, it's way more grippy with race tires, but it's just slow, honestly. So this was pretty much the best build path that I could find. So let's take it into Guanajuato, and we'll take it on one of my custom routes, the Guanajuato Super Stage. You may remember I took the Subaru S209 on that whenever it just came out. It's a fun, really difficult, technical, and tight circuit. It takes generally about 5 minutes or less in A-Class. If I remember correctly, the S209 did it in about 4:55. So we're gonna see if we can come close to that or possibly beat that time. I will have the share code for both the tune and the custom route down in the description and pinned comment below. So if you'd like to use either one of them, definitely feel free to, and leave some feedback for me down in the comments. Now, before we get on with this event, I want to take a moment and shout out one of the most badass painters in Forza. It is Greens. I will have his gamer tag down in the description and pinned comment as well. This insanely detailed paint only has one download so far, and that is mine. Please head over, download this paint to support Greens right now, because look at this thing. It's absolutely amazing. It has tons and tons of detail in there, and I think my tune and the wheel choice actually looks really good with this paint. So big shout out to Greens. Go support him. Download this paint right now. Give him a shout out on social media and tell him Connor Speed 6 sent you. So here we go in the little TTRS, the little Audi that could. Again, like I said, I'm just not a huge, massive fan of this car. I expected, honestly, a lot more than what I've been getting from it. I thought it was going to be like a little go-kart grip monster. Again, like I said, it is extremely grippy with the race tires. However, that puts us into S1 class way too easily with, I think, only like under 400 horsepower. So it's really not going to be that competitive, especially in online lobbies, if you take it in there, because everyone's going to have overpowered vehicles and limited grip, and they're just going to pull away from you on the straights. You're never going to have a chance. That's just unfortunately the way it is in online racing, especially in Forza Horizon. So yeah, this route again is very, very fun. It's tight, technical, twisty. It's actually pretty difficult as well to get right, especially if your car is not grippy enough to handle all of the turns that are going to be thrown at you. There's a lot of good long sweepers. We've got super, super tight corners like this. So we're going to take this down and down again, and then we're going to send it underground into the Guanajuato tunnels. Oh, let's try not to completely bend it before we even get down here. I'm sure I'll be doing plenty of bending here very soon into these walls. As you can see, I almost did. But yeah, I don't know why. I did everything that I know how to do to tune out the understeer in this car, but I think it's just these rally tires really don't afford you a whole lot of lateral grip. So that's where we're at with this build. If you guys have a better build path or better options when building this car, let me know. Did you install the turbo rally engine? Did you install the 3.0 liter i6? Let me know down below. I believe the i6 engine swap would take you to S1 class, because that added like 400 horsepower or something like that. It was kind of ludicrous. All right, little send around the corner there. Tap the brake, get the back end rotated around there. Fun little section right there. It's almost like a little stadium. Uphill now. And then we're going to dive into another hairpin. Of course, it's a Connor Speed 6 route. Whoa, barely almost hit the wall there. And then we're diving back down and down. Oh, that is a very difficult corner, because the inside curve, whenever you're going down and turning right, is rough. If you hit it, it will kick your car up onto two wheels, and you will not stand a chance. Don't mind me just smashing light posts and such. Alright, so now we're doing another bit of a sweeping hairpin, heading uphill into the square area where the church in Guanajuato is, and we have yet another hairpin. I did build this to kind of resemble, you know, what a WRC stage would be or something like that. We don't have, of course, all the roads that the WRC has in Guanajuato, but we use what we have. Okay, so yeah, it just feels slow. I'm not gonna lie. It feels like the car is just not fast. I don't know why. It may be just my gearing and the way I have it set up, but this was the fastest I could get the car from, you know, 0 to 60 to 0 to 100, etc. I feel like I put the best build I could on the car, but contrary to what a lot of people are saying, it's really not that great. Maybe if I tuned it or built it up into S1 class, it'd be a little bit better, but I don't know. I really prefer lower class builds like the A class, B class especially. S1 is pretty much the max I enjoy racing with. S1 and S2 especially is just too fast. But for like rally racing, S1 is max, no doubt, but it still is a little bit too quick, especially on some of the smaller, tighter roads. Alright, diving back down it. There are so many little hairpins on this event, in this race. It's a lot of fun. I would definitely recommend checking it out. Not necessarily with this car, but any car you want, because you'll have a good time, I promise you. It's really fun to race 1v1. There are no drivatars, as you can see, so they're not going to be getting in your way. But if you have a good buddy or a good friend who's really quick with racing, grab them and see how it goes. 4 minutes 55, 56.3 or so. 4:56.388. But there you have it. That is the 2018 Audi TTRS from Car Pass here in Forza Horizon 5. Again, go download this paint from Greens. His information is down in the pinned comment and description below. Again, if you'd like to use my tune, it will be available. Let me know your thoughts on it down in the comments below. Also, let me know how you built your TTRS, and let me know any differences or anything like that that you may have in yours or that you see from other people. But that's going to do it for me today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please be sure to leave a like, and if you're new to my channel, be sure to subscribe for more weekly content like this. As always, I have been Connor Speed 6. Until next time, much love, everyone. See you soon.